Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome to the Austin J. Haines podcast. I'm here with Margrét Jóns, all the way from Iceland, streaming live. Margret is an adventure tour guide, everyone. An adventure tour guide in Iceland. And I got to tell you, Margret, every time I mention Iceland to people, they get very excited. Matter of fact, we just had a phone call from a friend of mine and who doesn't like to normally travel that much. But when I said Iceland, he was like, oh my gosh, I want to go there. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to learn how Margret finds diamonds in Iceland. So, Margret, I am ecstatic to have you with us. We've talked many times, we've stayed in touch, and now we get an opportunity to learn more about the amazing woman that you are. So, first of all, how are you doing today on this Saturday here, January 6th?
Amazing. Thank you. And thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for taking an interview with me, and fantastic to see you and being able to connect with you, even though you are somewhere other side in a different time zone. I love it.
Yes.
And thank you for the introduction of Iceland. And well, it is a breathtaking place to be in.
Yes, I have only seen pictures. I've had some friends that have been there, and everybody raves about Iceland, and you get to experience it every day. And not only that, I have learned about you that you really appreciate nature like I do. You have a strong connection to nature, and we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about you were in a book. We're going to talk about the diamonds that you find. We're going to talk about these unexpected things that you have with people that you meet in your travels. So I'm excited and eager to get into it. But I got to tell you, you look like a queen sitting in this chair. If you're on the podcast, Margaret's got this beautiful chair she's sitting in. And by the way, what time is it there? It's 10:30 a.m. at the time of this recording. What time is
It's
it?
somewhere heading to 4 o'clock, 3:30 or something. Yeah, comparing to the light outside, there's getting dark, and so it's somewhere around 4 o'clock.
No. So what time does the sunset
It
today?
didn't show up today.
It didn't show up today. Okay.
No, it was too cloudy, and it's too lazy. But sunrise probably around 11, and sunset was probably around 3 o'clock.
Wow. So
Yeah.
interesting. So about 11, you got a 4-hour window of daylight. And hopefully we'll get to talk about the Northern Lights because you get to.
Oh,
Yes.
that is beautiful. And everyone thinks that we have complete darkness in Iceland when we don't have the sun. But that is the magical moment that is open up after, like, when it's getting dark and we have a clear sky and the northern light comes out. That is a magical moment.
Great. I'm eager to get in. I want to welcome in we do have a live stream. We do record this live. So we have a live audience. And the podcast, you'll be getting this on the podcast. So I welcome you to, if you're on the podcast, come over and check out the video or vice versa. If you're on the video, be sure and go subscribe to the Austin James Haines podcast. We're going to be bringing you lots of great things this year. We're going to be bringing you the mantra, get free, stay present, move forward. What is it you need to get free from? Can we live more in the moment? And can we progress from a deeper place? I'm going to be bringing you connections to nature, history, people, places, and things. And we're definitely going to be talking about relationships this year. So make sure you stay connected. And I'll also be telling you about the poetry book that's coming out amongst some other opportunities for you. But right now, let's get into Margaret's story. Margret, take us back a little bit. You've obviously, you were born in Iceland. Tell us a little bit. What stands out in your history? A little bit about your journey. We'd love to know what happened and what got you here.
Maybe I should start like sometimes I joke about it with my friends. It's like when you're starting a new friendship, it's always have to start like this story started in November 1970.
way back in time.
Way back in the last century, which is hilarious to think about when I feel so young. That is interesting. And no, I grew up on a farm. My grandparents, they were farmers. My father, he is an auto mechanic and he works around cars. And I definitely have all the interesting cars from him because I love them. Today I am working with a company that is named South Coast Adventure, and we take people on tours and snowmobiling and ice caving and a lot of adventure. And in my family, there has always been this beautiful sense of strolling, traveling, driving somewhere. Like if we need to talk about something, we go for a drive. If we need to talk more, we drive somewhere and then we walk. And this is basically what I have grown up to do with. And sometimes my mom calls me and say, "Hey, Margaret, what are you doing today?" I was like, "Nothing. Let's go for a drive." And we just drive somewhere. And the fact in Iceland is that you only drive for 5 minutes and you feel that you're completely alone in the world. You drive for 10
What?
minutes,
See,
you think,
I want to stop you there because that that is amazing to understand that, because we live here in the United States. Most people live in near a city, a suburb, constant noise, airplanes, trucks, you name it. And you are saying you can get out, drive for about 5 minutes, and you can feel a sense of nothingness. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
yes, that is what I'm saying. And if
Wow.
you see people, you just wait for 5 minutes. You have different weather and people will hide from the weather. No worries.
Wow. That is amazing. I really love that. And that's why I'm eager to be in Iceland here at some point. We're talking about that. But so yeah, that's the wanting to go outside, be outside. Your dad was an auto mechanic, and it sounds like you love cars. And I want to point
Yes.
out, I love the images that you post with these four-wheel drive Mercedes Sprinter vans. I love these vehicles, and they must be a lot of fun to traverse through the various landscape of Iceland.
It is absolutely amazing. And well, there is a friend of mine who owns the company that I'm working with, and I always said that he has the best toy box around because he has about 30 cars that are like, he is always adding new cars and he has amazing spirit and it's fantastic to work with him. And the guides and my colleagues there, everyone is working as a one hand. And well, we love doing these adventures, and you don't survive in this surrounding if you don't have the adventure spirit in you. Because when you get stuck in a snow, slushy, icy river over the winter time, and you need someone to pull you out, you learn a lot. And
Wow. So have you ever been stuck, like where you got like a little nervous, like
you know, 1,000 times and few
a
times
thousand times?
before. Because the truth in that is there's a lesson there. You
Yes.
know, it is a life lesson. If you're not willing to get out, then you just stay stuck. And doing that in Iceland is not a good idea because
Wow.
it is
I
not.
love the metaphor. I love the metaphors that we're uncovering here, and we're going to get into that. But thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That brings it brings it home, because here everything's so convenient, in the United States for most people.
Hmm.
There's people everywhere. There's access to, like, where I live here in we're outside of Philadelphia. I mean, I have access to everything. I get accustomed. Like, I drive 5 minutes and I'm in a beautiful eatery where I have organic food. But you also, when you gain something, you lose something. You also lose that raw vulnerability and connection to nature, which I think unlocks so many different things in us.
It is. I was. My dad. He will be 78 this March, and he's still working full day.
When's his birthday?
Uh, 14th of March.
14th of March, and he's still working. He's still working on cars.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And he sounds like a spirited man.
He is. He's an amazing guy. And I was on the 31st of December, I was on a tour to Þórsmörk. And I knew that I was the only car that was going there, and I had 10 people with me. They had no idea who they were going to travel with. They just booked a tour, and I had no idea how the rivers was. But it turned out to be a fantastic day and a perfect weather, and people, just children of the world, families of the world, they just come together, and we spent moments in nature. We took like 1.5 hour walk, and then we sat on a butt and slid down a mountain and was sliding there, and it was hilarious. A fantastic day to end the year.
Slide down the mountain. Like, do you have like on your like body surf?
On your butt.
Oh, on your. That is great. So anyway, let's get you grow up. It sounds like you were around cars. You were around this adventure growing up.
Yes.
And it sounds like this stayed with you.
It did, and that is quite interesting because my grandparents on my father's side, it was my great-great-grandpa, his job was to help people riding over the sand and the river, and he had a fantastic horses. So, and my grandpa, he was helping people to do the same. And then my dad was a bus driver for 30 years and drove the bus up in the highlands and everywhere. And it basically there's no new ideas. It's just I'm the fourth generation and a different vehicle. Much better.
A different vehicle, exactly. And the same spirit, the same, I think, I haven't been to Iceland, but I just can sense the spirit of the people. It's there's an intangible there that I think you can't really measure that personifies the people from Iceland.
It is somehow we have this attitude. We have this, like, it is ingrown to us. It's a phrase that we say, "Þetta reddast." That's an Icelandic phrase, and it means we will figure it out. We will find a way. We will find a solution. We will do something to make things better, but we will never give up. We will never give up on trying. That's probably the most annoying, but the most sad phrase in Iceland.
Say it one more time.
Þetta reddast.
Just don't ask me to say it. Because I will ruin it. I can assure you that. This is fun. I'm really enjoying this, hearing about your journeys. Is there a distinctive memory in like growing up that you remember? Because there's a word that I want to look up too that I wanted to share today that I think will bring some light to what we're talking about too.
Well, it is like when I look back and doing this job and helping people, like taking people around and being responsible for other people, is that the things that my parents have taught me and my grandparents is that never underestimate the power of the Icelandic nature, and always try to figure out the best way. And everywhere where I grow up, where I was growing up, there was always someone. There's actually one thing that sticks with me, and that is from my grandpa on my father's side. I was arguing with him about something that needed to be done. It was just taking care of the cows or something. And he said, "Well, Margret, I don't care what you are, where you come from, what's your name. I don't care. This job needs to be done, and you better do it." And I was like, and this kind of lingers to me, and it's like, it doesn't, and we think like this in Iceland. It's like, we have things to do. We are a nation. We need each other. We need every single one person that we have, because we have eruption, we have volcanoes going on. We had to evacuate one town before Christmas because we didn't know what the earth was doing. We have crazy weather. We have so many things that we need to deal with. So I
Wow.
think I have a fantastic trained, very short memory of bad things. Because when someone asks me how was the weather last year, oh, that was beautiful. At least there were 2-3 sunny days, and that is the thing that I remember.
Wow, that is wow, that is really fantastic, Margaret. And that really puts things into light. And I think that the lesson that you have, which we all have, but because of your climate that you deal with, nature is constantly teaching flexibility, adapt, have a positive attitude. Remember the 3 sunny days, and that's what made the year a great year. And that really says a lot. That really says a lot about you and the Icelandic people.
Thank you so much. And there is so many things that I'm reflecting on and thinking about, and it's like if you ask someone for a help, you usually always get a yes. We are a very helping nation, and we help each other out, even though we don't like each other, but we will help each
So
other.
even if you don't like somebody, you'll help them.
Yeah.
It's just part of the landscape, the
Yeah.
psychological landscape, if you will.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. I want to throw this word at you, word that came up. It's called kairos.
Kairos.
Kairos. Let me see if I can get the
Is that from
kairos.
Greek?
Yeah, it's a noun, and it means. And before I say it, and I want to welcome in our TikTok audience. We have people on TikTok listening here live. Is 2024 your kairos?
Kairos.
Is 2024 your kairos? And a kairos is a time when conditions are right for the accomplishment of a crucial action, the opportune and decisive moment. Can you think of a kairos?
Wow. Yes. This conversation.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I
Conversation.
can have a
Yes.
bell here. I used to have the bell. Wow.
Ding,
That's
ding, ding, ding.
amazing. Yeah. Thank you. That's great. You know what? I like the fact that you said that, not just because of the conversation, but it's this moment, right? We're basically saying this moment is the kairos. It's the time to get free, stay present, and move forward.
It is. It's definitely. Oh, wow. You know, this brings me to my diamonds.
Okay,
This
good.
takes
Hold
me.
that thought.
Yes.
We're going to go a little longer today. We're probably going to end up around 30 minutes. We're getting close to 20. But before we do, I want to share with people that I have a book coming out called Seeds of Infinitude. So I'm going to share that, and then we're going to share a little video with you here. So, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hear the diamonds that Margret finds in Iceland. Traveler, how long have you been carrying your luggage filled with yesterdays? Put your bags down this instant. Take up the cup filled with this moment. Raise it to the sky in praise. Move it to your lips and drink the juice of this moment until it fills your heart, spilling over into your soul, creating a soothing pool of infinity that reflects back to you your own divinity. That's called The Traveler. It's one of my poems. Welcome back, everyone. that be on the lookout. That's not just a book. It's going to be it's a live event, live poetry event. It's an experience. And the feedback that I've gotten so far has been beyond anything I would have ever imagined, writing poetry and sharing it, and people saying it's therapeutic. It touched my soul. It's just beyond me. It's just what's coming through me. And I think Margret can relate to that. What we're going to talk about now in Margret's story is the diamonds. So tell us about the diamonds in Iceland. Where do you find these diamonds? You mentioned a location there that has to do with diamonds. Why don't you take us down this story and tell us about the diamonds in Iceland?
Well, actually, those are two completely different diamonds, but I will start with the Diamond Beach, which is located on the glacier lagoon called Breiðamerkurjökull.
Okay, Diamond Beach. We're talking about a diamond beach in Iceland, and say the name again.
Breiðamerkurjökull.
Okay.
Jökulsárlón. Okay, no one will have any idea. I will send you the location on Google Maps.
Yes, and I'll put it in the show notes. Sounds
Fantastic.
Great.
Now to my other favorite question. When actually we were talking about the diamonds that I find in my work, is the people. It's the story of the people. It is the moments that I get to know people, and those drifters, those travelers, those beautiful, beautiful person that I came across. They're crossing my path over the small, no day is the same. Every day is different, and everyone that is in the restaurant tourist industry, they know that. But there's always someone that there's always some connection, and there's always some people that will touch your heart. And a few years ago, there was a huge family that was traveling with me, and there was this young boy, probably around 4 or 6 years old, something like that. And he looked like Dennis the Menace, like blonde hair, big ears, and glasses. And he was constantly talking. But one thing that was with his family is that I noticed that was something different about them. So I started to talk with the head of the family, the old man. And through the day we were like chit-chatting and everything. And of course, when people stop and someone wants to walk there to take a photo and someone wants to walk there to take a different photo. And always when he was talking to someone, he always started, how is my favorite person? So how is my favorite Austin today? And he did always start this conversation with people. Nevertheless, his grandson, he said, "Grandpa, is this your favorite driver of all times?" And he had this beautiful, they were from the UK, beautiful British accent, so it was hilarious. And the old man always said, "Yes, it is." And
that's beautiful.
It is amazing. And at the end of the day, we did go to the Black Sand Beach close to Vik, and I noticed that there was something, like I said, "You're not telling me the whole story. There is something that you have been hiding with me."
Are you saying this to the grandfather or the boy?
Yeah, I was talking to the grandfather.
Okay.
And he said, "Yes, Margret, there is. I have stage 4 cancer." And it's like, no way.
Oh my God.
No way. And he started to explain to me that his wife passed away 4 years before. This was his bucket list trip with the family, taking everyone out to Iceland. And
how old of a man are we talking, Margret?
77, similar age, my dad.
Same age as your dad. Okay.
Yeah. So it was like, I just choked up and said, I can't do this. And at the moment, his grandson said, Grandpa, is this your favorite place to be in?" And the old man said, "Yes, and share it with you right here, right now." And I said, from now on, when people ask me, Margaret, what is your favorite place? I said, I will share your story, and I will say right here, right now.
Wow, Margaret, that is so beautiful. Wow.
It is. And
Wow, what a story.
I promised to him that I will say that, and I have said this story, and I've talked over a lot of groups. Sometimes there's like 5 to like 40 people that are traveling in a trip with us, and I share this story. And because this is such a reminder of like right here, right now. That is the moment.
And what's beautiful about this, we didn't plan this, but the word kairos, a time when conditions are right for the accomplishment of a crucial action, the opportune and decisive moment. And now we're saying it's right now, based on this beautiful story of this man. And when did this happen? Was this like a couple years ago? Was it last year? Was it many years ago?
It was just right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
Yeah, and they left me a contact information, and I don't want to know.
You don't want to know. You want to just leave it in time. The beautiful gift. You just want to leave it there, and the lesson it taught you. So it sounds like this is a situation where you really were present for these people, because I wanted you to speak to the fact how when on the surface, you're a tour guide, right?
Yeah.
But beneath the surface, like the iceberg below the water, there's something deeper happening, and people tend to, in Iceland, whatever their reasons are, you start to get into the depth because they start to reveal. Is this right?
Yeah.
And that to me is priceless. That is a form of wealth right there. When people are sharing their heart and soul with you, and you're either just present with them, you don't say anything, or maybe you reflect back to them. Is that right?
Yeah, the other fact is I'm a life coach. I did work I'm the first woman in the south coast of Iceland to be a legal ambulance driver and a paramedic.
Okay, hold on. So I want to capture this for everybody. So this is incredible. I got to get my bell because I want to celebrate you. You are the first woman in the south coast of Iceland to be a certified life coach. Is that right?
No, ambulance driver and a paramedic.
Ambulance driver and a paramedic. So you're also an ambulance driver.
Yeah.
And a paramedic.
Yeah. And then I had to change fields and started to learn to be a life coach, which I am, and I'm a tour guide.
So life coach and a tour guide, and you get to do this every day.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I applaud you, and I celebrate you. It's just a beautiful thing. It really is. It's amazing. Wow. Yeah. I want to make sure we get a crew of people, because that's what we're working on. Margaret and I are working on a trip to Iceland for our group, and we have some really great ideas planned. So I think it's going to be amazing. But we'll talk more as that gets revealed. So, Margaret, is there anything you want to say? Because I want to get, is there a poem or something before we shift gears here? Is there anything else you want to say before we move on to the poem?
Yeah, probably. We were talking about driving and doing that sooner. It is like, learn to love your mistake. Learn to own your mistake. Those are beautiful lessons.
Well, hold on, Margaret. Now I'm going to why am I going to love my mistakes, Margaret? I made mistakes. I don't want to love my mistakes. I want to fix them. What are you telling me to love my mistakes? Please tell me more.
Fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that you want to fix your mistakes. And that is the beautiful lesson in them. Because if you would never, like, you can't do a mistake. And the urge to fix it, that's the beautiful learning part. Because you think about, are you going to do the same thing again? Probably not. Probably not. So you learn from them. And that is the gift of doing those mistakes and owning them. Do not let them drag you down and beat you up for them. Simply apologize if you need and move on.
Wow. You see that I love the way you frame this. And what I sense is you're getting people to feel differently about their mistakes. And if you can do that, it may not be easy. It's not easy for everybody. Some people, we've made some mistakes. But when you feel better, you start to feel a little bit better. Now it's like this whole different perspective. That is a beautiful message. This whole different perspective opens up. So Margret, what is your poem? And then we'll close out with what you're passionate about, and what a final message that you'd like to leave with people to hear today.
It's the walks of life, drifting coast to coast, nation to nation, heart to heart, visiting Iceland, the wonder of natures, the wonder of souls. Simply the simplicity in your smile, the simplicity in my smile. Waiting, breathing, sensing.
Love it.
Vikings, they did make our path. Travelers are doing our coast. Visitors, they will follow the path of the Viking. But we will always be a nation in Iceland.
Beautiful, beautiful testament to your country. Who wrote that poem?
I did when we were starting the show.
You wrote it.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So are you comfortable with sharing that? Because I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, fantastic. Why not?
Beautiful, beautiful job, and really a testament to Iceland, and I love it. That was really great. And I do want to do this. If for those of you that are on the live feed, I'm gonna see if I can put up a photo of Margret in Iceland so you get a visual. If you're on the podcast, simply go over to the YouTube channel, Austin J. Haines, I think it is under YouTube right now, and you'll be able to see Margret live, face to face here, at least on a recording photo. So what a great poem. Thank you for sharing that. And then what's a final thought that you'd want to leave for everybody? Could be your personal, something you're passionate about, or something that just a message you'd like to leave everybody. And I'm going to pull up this photo while you're doing that.
Probably the love from what my parents have left with me is my mother. She has we have this talk and things get bad and whatever. And usually I say, we say just go for a walk, find a rock, kick the rock. If it doesn't, do not be bad with people. Just hit the rock, you'll be fine. And look for something beautiful. Look up to the skies. There's stars. There's so many beautiful things to look forward to. Life is challenging. It is difficult, but do not forget those beautiful moments that you can create simply by helping someone else. Get out of your own sad place. Help someone else.
There you go. Look at that photo there. See if I can. There we go. There's Margret. Margret, you want to tell us this location here? So So if the people that are on the podcast, they can get a visual, get a description here of you. Looks like you're standing up on a mountain here.
I am. It's one of the day tours that we do in South Coast Adventure. It is called Þórsmörk. And I am standing up on a hill which is called Valahnjúkur. And it takes about 1 to 3 hours to walk up there.
It takes 1 to 3 hours to get to this peak.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you're walking. 2 hours is a good time.
This looks like spring or fall.
Yes,
autumn.
Spring.
Spring.
No, it's late summer.
Late summer. And you can see the cloud cover. You see lots of white puffy clouds with some blue in the back. And I see this, like, what would you call this? Like a
valley.
A valley with different rivers like running together in the background. I can only imagine the proportion of this, but it looks beautiful. You got a big smile on your face. You do see some green in the back, some gray rocks. Really amazing. Wow. So really neat. I pulled that photo off of your Facebook, and I want to encourage you to go find Margret on Facebook. Margret, where else would people connect with you? They just go to Facebook and
Instagram and TikTok. I have the same name everywhere.
Can you spell it out here for people so they can look it up if they're on the podcast?
Margrét Jóns.
And then Margret, and that little thing over the E, whatever that is, I always forget.
Yeah.
And then Jones, Jons, and also over the O, you have a little dash there, whatever that is.
I saw it. You pronounce it Margrét Jóns. It's the same. But my full Icelandic name is Margrét Sigríður Jónsdóttir.
Wow. Maybe when I travel there, I'll be able to even give an attempt at trying to say that, because it's a mouthful. So, well, this has been amazing. We're at 37 minutes, so I want to bring this to a close. I see Jordan Thomas is on there. Thanks, Jordan, for joining the podcast, and whoever else is on there live. Thanks for being here. And I want to thank you to the podcast audience as you do this. And if you're on the video, make sure you go to the podcast, Austin James Haines. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on all major platforms. And again, be on the lookout for Seeds of Infinitude. You can go to my website, austinjhaines.com. Margret, do you have a website?
Not functionally, but I would love to put the website from the company that I'm working with, South Coast Adventure.
South Coast Adventure. Let me see if I can look. Yeah. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. South Coast Adventure or Adventure. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's South Coast Adventure, and you'll find it pretty easy, I think. I see adventures.is. No.
Yeah.
Southadventure.is.
South Coast Adventure.
Here, let's share it for everybody on the screen so everybody can see it and we can get a visual on this. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. I got it. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite cars to drive.
That's a Ford Expedition.
Yes.
It's all lifted with big wheels on it, black color. South Coast Adventure. So the website here is, I'll just put it up on here, southadventure.is. So I'll put that here for everybody to see who's on the live feed. And
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. We're doing that now. So it's southadventure.is. Yes. Southadventure.is. Well, Margret, thank you so much again for being here. Thanks everybody for being here with us today. And we're going to end this live recording, and we'll be back. I'll be back very soon with another interview for you. So thanks everyone.